what's up guys? Gons here for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. Yahoo just reported Marina Biotech announces a license agreement to Smarticles. Marina Biotech Inc., a biopharmaceutical company focused on the development and commercialization of innovative therapeutics for disease intersections of arthritis, hypertension, and cancer, today announced that they have entered into a license agreement regarding the company's Smarticles platform for the delivery of nanoparticles, including small molecules, peptides, proteins, and biologics. This represents the first time that the company's Smarticles technologies have been licensed in connection with nanoparticles delivering small molecules, peptides, proteins, and biologics. Under terms of the agreement, Marina could receive up to $90 million in success-based milestones. Further details of the agreement were not disclosed. Quote, with the execution of this license agreement, the company extends its runway and enters into new areas of medicine, stated Joseph W. Ramelli, CEO of Marina Biotech. We are now beginning to see our delivery technologies used with various types of molecules and entities. We hope our delivery technologies continue to provide new therapeutic opportunities to the patient community. So I don't think I need to really get into the nitty-gritty of why something like this is significant in the bigger prophetic picture of God's story, his cosmic timeline that we all get to share and be a part of here. But this is how science fiction is becoming science fact. And I mean that quite literally. Now, I've talked about this story before, but there's a book called The Atopia Chronicles written by Matthew Mather. And here's the premise of the book. To escape the crush and clutter of a packed and polluted Earth, the world's elite flock to Atopia, an enormous corporate-owned artificial island in the Pacific Ocean. It is there that Dr. Patricia Killiam rushes to perfect the ultimate in virtual reality, a program to save the ravaged Earth from mankind's insatiable appetite for natural resources. So I'm going to play just a snippet from the audiobook of Atopia Chronicles because a big part of the story and how this virtual reality program works is by something called Smarticles. So to set this up, this is Olivia, a character that is in the doctor's office speaking to the doctor about her health and trying to get out of the office.
I just wanted to get out of there. But there must be something else. What about more nanobots? Those still use medications, he explained. Mostly they're just delivery systems. So I have to figure this out myself. I rolled my eyes. Meditation, relaxation. That would probably work best in the long term, but I'm not so sure in your case. So what are you suggesting? Why couldn't he get to the point already? He took a deep breath. I think we have something perfect for you, but I've been weighing the options. And I waited for his revelation. He struck another irritatingly thoughtful pose. Stress and anxiety are deeply rooted problems in society, he replied calmly. While they respond to drugs, these don't correct the underlying issues. Medical science has found ways to fix most major diseases, but the mind is a tricky thing. He adjusted himself in his seat. There's a new synthetic reality system that we've been testing with select clients, he began, raising his hands to fend off my objections. Before you say anything, there are no implants, nothing surgical anyway. You've already used the delivery nanobots, and this is just one step further. I wagged my head slightly. Okay. All you do is swallow a pill with a glass of water. Nanoscale devices in the pill called Smarticles diffuse through your body and attach themselves to your neural system. They're able to modify signals flowing through your neurons. My attention began to wander again, and the doctor could see it. I hated technical mumbo-jumbo. He stopped and looked at me before continuing. If you ever decide you don't like or want it anymore, a simple verbal command deactivates the whole thing and it washes back out of your system and is excreted. It's as simple as that. He smiled, but now I smiled back. I realized what it was that he was describing. And it's been tested? I asked. This must be the new Atopian Cognics system we were pitching at the office. It wasn't on the market yet, but I knew they were doing restricted trials. I brightened up. It looked like someone on top had given me the nod. Maybe I would win the account after all. The system has been in clinical trials for years already and is fairly well understood. I can't give you the brand name, but that shouldn't make any difference. Does it? I was sure he knew I knew what he was talking about, but he had to go through the motions anyway. I played along, knowing that all this would be reviewed by someone at Cognix as soon as I gave my consent. No, not really, but if you say it'll help, I replied, trying to conceal my glee. One of the major causes of stress and anxiety is advertising. He paused, knowing I was an advertising executive. My recommendation is that you should use this system to remove advertising from your environment for a time. See how you feel. Sure, that sounds like a good idea. He seemed unsure whether I was being sarcastic or not, but he could sense my mood lightening. Should I write you a prescription? I nodded. So I'll have complete control over it? Of course. A pause while we looked at each other. Are you ready? What, now? If you're ready. Another pause, and then I slowly nodded again. The mobile, still in my ear, chimed softly as it received the electronic prescription from the doctor's automated assistant. The doctor filled a small paper cup from a bottle of water in the cabinet behind his desk and handed it to me along with a small white tablet. Just swallow this. It includes a sedative to help keep you immobile during the initial data gathering session. I took the pill and cup from him. He looked me directly in the eye. Olympia, do you give your consent to give your personal data to the program? I nodded once more. This includes background personal data, you understand? Yes, I replied. We won't be able to activate it today. You'll have to come back later in the week, but we can install it now. I studied the pill briefly, then popped it into my mouth and washed it down, then handed the empty cup back to him. Follow me. He stood up and led me out of his office and into a smaller room containing a human-shaped pod. It looked like one of those old tanning beds. I lay down in the pod, and the slightly gooey gel inside it conformed around my body. Now just relax. He lowered the top of the enclosure. It suctioned onto me, completely enveloping my body. In a dreamlike state, I felt tiny fingers probing and tickling me, lights and patterns flashing in my eyes, and sounds like some kind of hearing test. My muscles twitched as small electric shocks raced back and forth across my body. Sweet and salty liquids washed through my mouth as my nostrils filled with acrid smoke, and the whole thing cycled from hot to cold and back again. I quickly fell asleep and dreamt of flying above fields of golden daisies with sunshine filling a perfect golden sky. I dreamt of babies with blue eyes, alive but never living, their blue eyes filling blue seas with blue pain.
And then later, after she was done in the pod, this is the scene of her talking to the doctor.
I stopped at the doctor's office and half hung my head inside. How do you feel? He asked immediately, looking up from some paperwork. Please, come in. No, I'm fine. I just want to get going. I've got things to do. So just tell me quick, what do I need to know? He paused. You have a very powerful new tool at your disposal. Be careful with it, and don't activate any of the distributed consciousness features yet. Distributed consciousness? I snorted, looking back toward the nurse who'd positioned herself behind me in the hallway. Where do they get these ideas?
So there's the clip, and interestingly, this whole experience of the nanobots going into your body and reading all of your biological data and the digital realm fusing with your biological realm, it's not just science fiction anymore. And it's just funny that the actual thing they use in the science fiction, Smarticles, is the name of the platform that is used by Marina Biotech. It's actually called Smarticles. So this is truly science fiction coming to life right before our eyes. And if you look at this article, it goes through who Marina Biotech is, and then it goes through their statements of what they would like to do, getting permission from the government, having preclinical and clinical studies and commercialization, successfully integrate its business operations with those of Athena Pharma, which is interesting because this character, Olivia, works for Cognix as part of the Atopian world. And if we follow the analogy, Atopia is basically the New World Order system of the elite who have this island basically that's technologically advanced. It's that whole dystopic worldview, but for those within it, it's this continued obsession with progress and controlled human evolution. That's the transhumanist coming into full play, and I think it's prophetic. I think there is a truly biblical perspective that is valid, that should be considered valid even for those who are non-believers. They should look at some of these scriptures about the mark of the beast and the image of the beast and everything associated with it. They ought to look at it and at least say, okay, there's some stuff there. And you can't just say, oh, they're trying to follow the script written out in the book of Revelation, because there's no way that the element of technology, the power that is harnessed with the advancement of science and technology, would be to a degree that can control life or death, that can advance us or enhance us to become gods and having this ascension. And the virtual reality that is being created is, in so many ways, a physical manifestation of the unseen world filled with entities, demonic and angelic, waiting to interact with us at a very tangible scale. And that's why the virtual reality, where we're immersing ourselves, all of our information being put into this other realm, we start interacting with it. And, if you go finish Atopia Chronicles, it's the perspective of many different people, but they're all suffering this delusion ultimately in the end. Without giving the details of the entire spoiler, the book's been out for a few years. So just a quick update, but an important one. Yahoo.com reports Marina Biotech announces a license agreement to Smarticles, which I'm sure is going to help a lot of people. It's probably going to be part of curing cancer. And this might have something to do also with Trump's whole DARPA technology release thing that he was talking about through Alex Jones. So we have to keep an eye out for all this stuff. Hold on to the word of God. Stay watchful. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.